YouTube fam, what is going on, man? Well, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for cooling with Jay as always. So finally I have an update on my V4 in regards to the last video. As I'm sure some of you saw, that I had a fuel leak. So for those of you who don't know about the fuel leak, I will link the description up below to check out that video. So basically, long story short, in that video, I was riding around, leaving the gym. I was making a roundabout way of heading home to pretty much shower, change, and go out for a moto vlog. So basically, the day before that, I filled up my tank. I had just gotten it back just recently from Sean, who did all the exhaust and some other pieces to my bike he installed for me. Of course, I was going to do a video going over all the new additions to my bike. The day before when I filled up, I smelled gas. I thought maybe it just spilled on my jacket or something. Because, you know, usually I'll use my jacket or I'll use like a paper towel if they have any. So I thought, and I was wearing the same jacket that day. So I thought it was just on the jacket. But when I came to the light, it was like a massive, you know, like a wind, like a breeze came across, and I smelled gas again. And it was very like fresh gas kind of smelling. So anyway, I was like, well, I'll just check it when I pull over. So I was gonna go to a certain spot to take pictures anyway. I was like, well, when I get there, I'll just check and see what's up. So when I get to the spot to take pictures, I pretty much, you know, get off the bike. I look around. I don't see anything leaking, right? So as I'm taking pictures now of the bike and I'm moving it around, pushing it back and forth. I didn't turn it on. I'm just pushing it back and forth, getting in the angle I want to take the picture. I was leaning because also I was going to take a picture of the brand new carbon fiber heat shield that I got put on, because I didn't have that, of course, on the last time. And as I'm about to take a picture of an angle of the bike with the heat shield in it, I noticed that there's some weird residue on it, as if like, you know, like some chemical substance. So I'm looking around now to see on the bike, okay, where is this chemical substance coming from? And I'm seeing residue of something on the clutch cover. I'm like, man, did I hit a puddle or something? I didn't know what it was. My first initial thought was that the carbon fiber heat shield was defective. So I don't know much about carbon fiber in the sense of maybe this one wasn't made very well, and maybe the heat had caused it to change its color, because it was showing a different color also on the heat shield. Well, of course, I'm looking around like, no, something spilled. And so I take my finger, of course, and I wipe across the heat shield, and I smell it, and it smells like fuel. But I'm like, I don't see any fuel. So, of course, logic tells you, okay, maybe you turn it on, maybe you can see what's happening. So, of course, as you saw in the last video, I turn on the bike, and sure enough, it's leaking fuel right out of where the frame is, where the frame cover is. So I'm like, oh, great. That's fantastic. So I've been possibly riding around for 2 days and been leaking fuel. So basically moving forward now to where we're at now, of course, I called the tow truck. Tow truck came. Someone in the comments mentioned to use Ace Towing. I was going to use Ace Towing, but Ace Towing and his partner that he recommended was booked. So Ducati called some random tow company. And I was a little nervous because the guy couldn't speak any English. And two, he had never hooked up a bike to a tow truck before. And I personally don't know how to hook up a bike to a tow truck or anything in that nature, but I've seen the people who've come to take my bike who are professionals. I've seen how they essentially do it, and it didn't look the same. Like how he clamped my bike down was completely different from how I've seen everybody else do it. But it got there safely. Thank God. I mean, it wouldn't have been my fault, but thank God it got there safely. So yeah, Ducati, I also sent Ducati the video as well of the gas leak, because of course I took all documentation and pictures and all kind of stuff just to protect myself, and of course if Ducati, I didn't think they would, but just in case if Ducati was like, hey man, we don't, this didn't happen. After I took the pictures, took the bike down there, right, they said, okay, we're going to assess the damage, right? So now fast forward into now where we're at now. So basically I've been on the phone with Ducati HQ and the bike shop back and forth. So unfortunately, it's a half and half. So yes, there is a puncture or a crack in the fuel line, and this situation, I guess, apparently made it all the way up the chain at Ducati North America, apparently for service. Apparently, whoever runs the service department for Ducati, apparently this went all the way up the chain, And they came to the conclusion that because of the aftermarket parts on my bike, they will cover the part, but not the labor. So of course you can probably assume my frustration with the situation, that you'll do half and half, that you'll pay for the part, but you won't pay for the labor, because they're saying since somebody else touched the bike that wasn't Ducati, they can't swear that whoever did it, you know what I'm saying, didn't cause the puncture in the fuel line. Now, the part about the conversation that frustrates me, because you know what I'm saying, like, I listen when people have the conversation. I mean, like, I listen when I'm actually listening when people talk to me. So this is how Ducati told me. Thomas, there was aftermarket parts put on your bike. There was a frame cover, and also you put on aftermarket, of course, radiator guards. Okay, and these two parts could have had something to do with the puncture. Now, I don't know much about bikes nor how they're put together, but if there's a puncture somewhere, you should be able to tell where the puncture is. Like, for example, if I have a tube right here and there's a puncture right here, that puncture should be correlated to a part of the bike. Now, I can tell you right now, once the bike gets back, I will show you my frame cover. My frame cover doesn't even fully cover the entire frame. So there's no way putting on the frame cover could have punctured it. There's no way that radiator guards. So what they exactly said is that they're under their assumption or their speculation or their proof that my tank was removed. I know for a fact my tank was never removed. I can list all the parts I've ever installed on my bike, and all the people out there who have a V4, they can attest to all of these parts. You would never have to remove the tank in which to install them. Now, I didn't install these myself. Obviously, these were installed by other professionals, but they weren't installed by Ducati. And since they weren't installed by Ducati, they're trying to say, well, we'll take half the blame because we can't swear that whoever touched your bike didn't do it. But my argument back to them was, well, I can tell you what they did, and what they did had nothing to do with the engine. So kind of giving it another example, you own a Ferrari, just hypothetically, right? You install a carbon fiber wheel well, right? The black piece that you see inside of the wheel, right? You install a carbon fiber piece, but apparently there's a cut in the hose. So since there's a correlation of a distance between where you installed the part and what's wrong with the engine, they're going to put fault on you. Because the parts I installed had nothing to do with engine, okay? I have not touched anything engine-related on my bike. The closest thing to engine on my bike is my exhaust, and my exhaust is a slip-on. It's a 3/4. So all you have to do is pull off all the fairings, and and you pop off the stock, the stock exhaust, and then it pops back on. Like, it's not like there isn't anything extensively on my bike. The only thing near the fuel line would be, again, the frame cover. But like I said, why is the fuel line exposed to that extent of where a frame cover could cut it? But that's what they're trying to say. So long story short, I fought it back and forth. We were on the phone. I argued my point. And, this is also what the guy said. So I also mentioned to the, I'm hesitant to say his name, but this is what the guy at Ducati HQ told me. I also expressed to him my frustration about my quick shifter. Now, I've had my bike now for over a year, and I have had quick shifter issues from the very beginning, okay? Now, I'm going to pause by saying that when I called Ducati just recently, they said that apparently there's some recall for some clutch hose, something that should fix this issue of it being jammed. So basically how this happens is that at a light or whatever else, right? Let's say I'm riding, right, and I'm coming to a light. I'm in first gear. Okay, or sorry, I'm in third gear, right? I come to the light. As I'm coming to the light, I'm downshifting, right? 3, 2, 1, it's auto blipping. I'm at the light, first gear, right? And then as I'm in the light at first gear, I want to pop it into neutral to chill, okay? Obviously, right? And as I'm at the light in first, I pull in the clutch, obviously, and try to flick it into neutral, and it doesn't do anything. Like, I'm talking about, like, I go to the gym. I'm not some weak person. And I'm like on the first, like on the clutch, on the shifter, and it's not moving, okay? And it's stuck. And this will happen continuously. As I start to ride more and do all the up and downs, it'll do this time to time. Like to the point of where it'll happen so frequently, I'm just like, my hand will get tired because I can't put it into neutral. So the guy at Ducati, this is what he tells me. He says, well, that's not how you ride the bike. He says, well, maybe it's rider error because, you should be in neutral. So I said, so I should be coming up to a night and pop it into neutral and just coast? So basically what he tried to say was that the clutch issue could have been user error. And I said, how can a quick shifter issue be user error? Because I explained to him I'm a new rider. He said, well, it could be your fault. And I'm like, how can it be my fault? If I'm at a light, no matter what bike you're in, no matter if you're 300, 600, 5 billion, if you're at a light and you pull the clutch in, the shifter should do something, right? And it doesn't. It's stuck in whatever gear it's in. If I'm in second, it's stuck in second. If I'm in third, it's stuck in third. It won't do anything. He's trying to say, I'm like, your job is to make me feel better as a customer, and you're trying to belittle me, saying that, oh, the issue you're having is your fault. And I explained to him, I said, hey guy, listen, I've had this bike for a year. I have a friend who owns a V4S. And I said the instant I got on his bike, I could instantly tell his quick shifter was different than mine. It's much quicker. Now, I don't know why, but it just is. And I said my frustration is that when I go into Ducati to get it fixed, right, what they're telling me is since they can't replicate the issue, sorry. It's kind of like going to the doctor and you know something's wrong with you, and the doctor's saying, no, we checked out, everything's fine. You're like, I'm telling you something's wrong, and then weeks later you're in a coma, and they're like, oh, I'm so sorry, we didn't know it was this because we didn't want to check for X, Y, and Z. That's the issue, right? Whoever's in charge doesn't want to check for certain things, because I know. And here's the next thing. For those of you out there who don't own Ducatis, if you look at any forums, there's hundreds of people out there who have quick shifter issues. I know for a fact of 4 or 5 guys who have had their quick shifters replaced for the very same reason. I wasn't asking for it to be replaced necessarily. I just wanted it to be fixed, right? So apparently now it's supposed to be fixed. We'll see once I get the bike back. So in short, basically, I should be getting the bike back soon whenever they order the fuel line and get that back. So basically, the cost for the labor was like $140. So it's not like it's expensive to fix the issue, thank God. But it's the principle of the matter that it's like all big corporations, right? They never want to take fault. They never want to, like, to me, if you're a $1 billion company, what's $140? For the fact that you've already had a bike that's had how many recalls, guys? How many times have I told y'all, or we've been sitting right here with each other, and I've told y'all, hey man, my bike's gone because some recall work. I even told the guys. So before we ended the conversation with this HQ guy, I even said, y'all not helping y'all's case right now. I said, if you look at any news forum, what is being said about Ducati? Terrible unreliability, arrogance, pride, terrible customer service. And here you are basically trying to fault me for an issue with a vehicle. You're trying to say what should be working on a vehicle is user error. That would be like you owning a Ferrari or any Lamborghini or anything with a paddle shifter, the paddle shifter not working to engage a gear, which is based on systems and mechanics and all kind of different things that make that paddle shifter work, and Ferrari or Lamborghini telling you it's your fault why it isn't shifting. And you're saying it doesn't take it, a 2-year-old can pull a paddle in and shift it. How can that be user error? And I have it on video, on audio. Exactly what he said. That's bull. That's bull. I was pissed. There's no question about it. I was pissed about the whole interaction. I felt like all he was doing was trying to put as much fault on me as he could. Even for the things that now's a recall. See, that's the funny thing, right? Is he said over the phone, it's user error. But Ducati's telling me, oh, there's actually a recall for this part we're actually doing on your bike that is associated with the issue you're having. So is it rider error or is it me? Sorry, is it Ducati or is it me? And if anybody at Ducati is watching, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed because I'm a brand new person, to the bike world, brand new to Ducati, brand new to owning any vehicle of this sort of nature, and everything I've heard about Ducati up until this point is true. It's true. It isn't. It might not be as bad as people say it is, but it's very close, right? As the old people say, when there's smoke, there's fire. Yeah, I can see that now. I can see why people don't want to deal with Ducati. I can see why people don't want to own a V4 for all the issues, for all the dealers trying to do certain things. Now, I am faulting the company. I'm not pointing blame at any individual, minus the guy at HR. He's terrible. Ducati, if you're watching, he needs to be fired. Because to treat a customer like that, and then for Ducati to also release that just shows of his incompetence. So, anyway, on to a lighter note, guys. So sorry for carrying on with that. That was just a super frustrating situation. It's taken care of, but as it stands now, there's been, 15 recalls or so, and I've had a fuel leak. And like I said, it could have literally killed me. So, I thank God I'm alive for it, obviously, but it could have done a lot worse. And on top of that, a lot of other guys have had the same issues. So, again, remember that Ducati that caught on fire. From what I understand, that was from the same kind of incident. And I know two guys who had the same exact fuel leak. So I know it isn't me. I know my spirit. I know my heart. I know my soul. It's not my fault. But unfortunately, once again, companies like Ducati do the same thing. So many companies out there, they talk about customer service and how it's always about the people and we take care of them. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's a facade. It's a fake. It's a cover-up. It's to make us feel warm and fuzzy inside. But at the end of the day, it's about shareholders and bottom lines. It is. So we have two choices. We either accept it and we buy the things that we enjoy anyway, or we don't and we live in a box. One of the two. But if you ever expect to go into any major company and for them to take care of you, no, because you have to have some clout. And so many people, and last, to get off a tangent, I feel like in part, that's why so many people want to be famous, right? It's not necessarily for the famousness of, being known. It's for the fact of it's interesting when you are famous. It's interesting how these same rules don't apply anymore. Because I guarantee you, if I was some $1 billion view page, they'd be like, oh my gosh, Mr. Johnson, we're going to take care of you absolutely. Like, it's going to be free of charge. In fact, we'll throw in an extra carbon fiber piece on the side just for free. But since I'm some nobody right now, starting up his YouTube channel, it's like, it's fine. So, hey, man, I hope y'all share and comment on this video and get the word out about Ducati and how they handle it, because it's still disappointing. So, at the end of the day, I still love my bike. I don't want to get rid of it. I still enjoy it. I still love it. I'm just disappointed at the company and how they handle their customers. Am I shocked? No. Am I disappointed? Nah. I'm pissed because they're at fault, but they found a loophole to not take fault. I don't care who you are, company or not, that would piss off anybody. So, to close, on a lighter note, I have finally, as I'm sure y'all not noticed or have noticed, there's a new logo up on my channel. So that logo was done by a guy here in Oregon. I really appreciate his help. Back and forth for the past month and a half. That's part of why I've been kind of ghosting. Minus the bike being gone, I've been working on different things to kind of revamp my channel. So God willing, when the bike gets back, there will be a completely new look to my channel. So I'm talking about intros, how it looks, the editing process, all of that. I've been working on that to kind of give y'all something new for 2019. Hopefully, if I can finally get the bike back. So, again, as it stands right now, I don't know when that's going to be. But I do know it's all been ordered. All the recalls have been done. So when I get the bike back, it's time to ride, hopefully. So, with the new logo, I actually made some t-shirts. Or shirts for myself, okay? This is not a sales pitch, okay? I am just showing y'all that I have made shirts about my logo. So, here's what it looks like. If y'all can see that. So here is my t-shirt, okay? Obviously for me, for myself, on the back, this is kind of what it looks like, okay? So I'm not sure, my plan was for me was to obviously wear these shirts to promote my own brand, right? So I'm just putting a filler out there. If anybody's interested in shirts, let me know. Obviously I wouldn't have it to the back. It says check me out and my different handles on it. Like I said, this is for myself, but I don't know. Somebody out there might want it. And also, with that being said, I'm working on the same pretty much design, but just the glasses with all the little logos in it. So it'll be like a basic shirt or whatever, and it'll have like a small little Coolin' with Jay with just the glasses right there. So this is like of course my face, obviously. So that's about it, man, for all I got. Again, like I said, at the end of the day, it's done. I said my piece to them. I've said my piece to y'all, and just gotta move on. It's unfortunate, but that's the way the world works sometimes. So, again, guys, I thank y'all for all the new people coming into my channel. I hope you stay. I hope you subscribe. I hope you tune into all the rest of my content. Again, guys, I thank y'all so much for over 50,000 views y'all have given me on my page. That is crazy for me, at least. And in fact, I'm finally at a point now in my career where I am marketing my own material, right? I'm marketing my own brand, right? I might wear other brands, but I'm finally at a place where I'm marketing myself for me, and that's a blessing for myself, saying the fact of so many times we try to brag about, spending $50,000 on one shirt or a pair of shoes that some other company is laughing at us about because they're making that money. But we're not taking that $50,000 or even that $5,000 we just bought that pair of shoes with and marketing our own self. We're just marketing somebody else. But hey, that's your thing. That's your thing. But anyway, guys, definitely rambling. Thank you for Coolin' with Jay. Again, if there's any other update, I will definitely make a video about it. But that's the big one as far as right now. So, guys, as always, thanks for Coolin' with Jay, and I will see everybody in the next video.